Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. TikTok, this is your first time on with us for Let's Chat. I don't know how well this is going to go. I'm not going to be able to look at you guys because I am looking into this way. So y'all going to have to get my side until I figure this out, TikTok. But what's up, B Nation on YouTube? Thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate you guys. Y'all know we meet every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And what we do over here, we are praying for our future spouse. We're learning a skill set. And so normally we're not on here long. So if you're new, welcome. If you're new on YouTube and you're watching us for the first time, welcome to B Nation. My name is Bernadette Washington. This is B's Real Life TV. TikTok, if this is your first time watching, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And feel free, like I said, TikTok, this is your first time joining us. I got to figure out how to navigate this. So I'm not going to be able to be turning around like this. Like, I can't do that. So y'all going to have to get this lesson this sideways like this. Sorry. And if you don't like the way we are doing it this way, you can come over to B's Way of Life TV on YouTube, and you can watch us from that angle until I kind of figure out how I need to set this up and all of this beautiful stuff. Okay, so y'all, so today, y'all know what y'all need to do. Make sure you share the live. Make sure you give this live a thumbs up. We really appreciate you. What's up, Stacy? Good morning. It is so good to see you. Thank you, Hope Bless, for joining us as well over here on TikTok. Thank you, David. All of these beautiful things. Thank you guys for joining us. So we're gonna jump right into it, guys. So our Let's Chat episode 102. We're going to talk about guarding your future marriage before you even say I do. So if you're single and you're believing the Lord for a spouse, this is a great place for you to start. So welcome back to Let's Chat. But like I said, we meet every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Right? So why did I think about this topic? Because a lot of times in relationships, we don't really know to how to protect our future marriage in some way. What do I mean by that? Some things you just should not be saying. Some things you should not talk about. Okay, um, it's important for you to have an understanding uh, that a lot of singles pray for a spouse. We fast, we sow, we declare. Y'all know that's true, right? But very few of us prepare. And one of the biggest areas of preparation is learning how to guard access. I'm going to say that again. You got to learn how to guard access. What do I mean by that? You have to learn not to expose the person that you're dating or the person that you're married to. And I'll get a little bit more into it. I'm not saying there's not times where you need to involve folks, but we'll talk about what does that mean. Okay, because I just don't think that everybody has the emotional maturity to deal with your future spouse flaws, and y'all have to be wise enough to understand that. So you just can't go just talking and thinking sometimes your friends can understand your partner flaws without treating them differently. So that's what I want to kind of dive into to give you all the skill sets of knowing when to give people access to your intimate personal life when it comes to your partner, whether you're starting to date or whether you guys are engaged. It is important that you learn how to guard your access concerning your relationship. One of the things that I do when I start, if I start talking to someone in a relationship, I don't tell people that I'm talking to somebody. I just don't. Why do I do that? Because I am trying to figure out what this is myself, right? And I don't need a whole lot of noise while I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure it out through prayer. I'm trying to figure it out through actions and the way that they behave. So I'm just not going to just jump and tell everybody what's going on. What's up, Bells? I'm not going to tell everybody what's going on because I'm trying to figure out what this is. And when you're trying to figure out what this is, you need to guard access to that particular relationship until you figure out what it is, until you understand where it's headed, right? So the Bible says in Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. We usually apply that to who we date, but it also applies to who we allow to speak into the relationship, right? Right? It does. If you're called to guard your heart, you're also called to guard what's connected to your heart, right? Y'all, I know y'all love y'all friends, but honey, if they don't have the emotional maturity to deal, I'm gonna say this again, to deal with your partner flaws, you don't need to be having no conversation with them. You need to take that to counseling somewhere. I promise you. Because especially if you want to guard what you believe that God has brought into your life, right? Not everybody deserves access to your relationship journey. Seriously. This is why I don't tell people if listen, I can be talking to somebody for a whole year. I won't say a word. Why? Because within that time, I'm collecting data. I'm trying to figure out things, and then if I decide, okay, this is access worthy, it's only a handful of people that I will give that access to. One will be my mentor. Why? I need to know what he thinks. It matters. No, I make the final decision, but it matters what he thinks. And people that's coming into your life need to know that you are accountable to somebody and that there is somebody that loves you, and they just can't walk into your life and think they can bring all type of nonsense and drama into your life. No, I have people that love me and that's going to challenge your presence in my life. Does that make sense? So this is why it's important for you to guard access when you're collecting data, when you're trying to figure out something, right? And once you kind of figure out what this is, then you can kind of invite those that you believe that are safe into it. So when you start dating someone seriously, when you're building something that could lead to covenant, that is not public property. It's not group chat content. It's not social media entertainment, right? The Bible also says in Proverbs 11:13, a gossip betrays confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. If someone cannot keep your business, they cannot keep access. They cannot keep access to your relationship. Y'all, that is just the truth. Oversharing with the wrong people creates bias. And once someone forms a negative opinion about the person you're dating, it's very hard for them to treat them with honor later. Y'all, listen to me. How you treat the person that you're in relationship with in front of your friends, in front of your family, right? While y'all going through the dating stage, what you are doing is telling everybody else how to treat that person as well. So you might want to think in how you handle them in front of people and the things that you say to them in front of people, making jokes at their expense, belittling them in jokes and that kind of stuff. And then when they get on your nerve, you lash out just to anybody. No, it is your responsibility to protect that person that you are dating, whether it's male or female. Right? So let's be honest about it. Sometimes we don't seek counsel, we seek agreement. And that's why a lot of times we go to certain people because you're not really interested in seeking wholesome counsel, right? You just want somebody to agree with you. And you have to be careful about that. And this is why when people come to me, because people come to me all the time, I can already tell, do they want this healed or do they just want to be right? Because if you just want to be right, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna waste my time because I got better things to do with my time. I am not gonna have a conversation with you, fighting with you between y'all fighting, and the only thing y'all want somebody to do is just agree with you. You are not interested in the relationship within itself being healed, and you all getting a mindset shift so you can be able to get along. You just want to know that you're right. Child, listen, Either sometimes you're gonna learn either you want to be happy or you want to be right. And sometimes you can be both, but there's sometimes where you can't. And sometimes you need to keep the peace. I'm not saying sweep things under the rug. I am not a believer of that. I believe that people that sweep things under the rug have communication issues. They do not understand how to deal with conflict. And y'all know what y'all need to do, and y'all need to get coaching in those areas, right? So Proverbs 19:20 says this: listen to counsel and receive instruction, that you may be wise in your latter days. Wise counsel corrects you. Wise counsel challenges you. Wise counsel protects both of you, not just your feelings. Because y'all know honey, this is the way that I feel. Child, listen, nobody cares. Listen, what you trying to do, you're trying to use some wisdom to be able to learn how to become one with this person, to see whether or not this is something that God has placed in your lap for you to steward well over. And your feelings, listen, y'all know your feelings are like rebellious children. Hey, Lauren, listen, your feelings are like it's like rebellious children, right? It just do whatever it wants to do. So if you go by your feelings, honey, you act the fool most of the time, right? You got to learn how to mature. You have to learn how to grow outside of your feelings and be able to make sound decisions no matter what you're feeling, right? So if you really want marriage, you have to grow in emotional maturity. Y'all know that's my big thing. Do not date people that do not have emotional maturity. They're going to stress you out because emotionally they can't have an adult conversation when it comes about something simple as if you're disagreeing about something, right? So James 1:19 says, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. And y'all know we do the opposite. We become angry, we speak real, we just want to, we do the opposite. But this is the scripture that you should most definitely covet this year. Put it, wake up in the morning, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Why? So you can get a better understanding of the person that's in your presence, right? You're listening with the intent of collecting data. Y'all, please stop getting involved with relationships to where you just so head over heels till you don't see what you need to see. You can't navigate like that because once you get married, that stuff you see dating just time it by 20, and it gets worse. It does not get better. So you have to address certain things while you're in the dating stage, so you can collect the data that you need to make an informed decision. Okay? So some of us are quick to vent, quick to post, quick to call 5 friends, but slow to pray and slow to process. Every time y'all get into something, y'all friends don't need to know. If you desire a healthy marriage, practice healthy boundaries now while you are single. So what does that look like? What does that mean? Not running to everybody after a disagreement. Not posting subliminals online. Y'all know how we do. We get mad. We catch an attitude, and then some of us will go online and we'll post. We'll say, hey, creations. We'll post certain things, and it's almost like a dag or not a dag, a dig, right? And so I can remember, y'all, I was talking to this guy, and it was over. I called it off and stuff. But at the same time, right, I talk about relationships on my page, right? So I can't stop talking about relationships on my page because me and the person are no longer together, right? I can't do that. That is my niche. That's what I do, right? That's part of my purpose and calling, right? I talk about God has given me the wisdom about helping single people that are believing for a spouse to properly prepare for it. Because I think we go into marriage with all these unrealistic expectations. Your husband is not your future spouse is not your savior. Marriage is not salvation 2.0, right? So I'm here to give you a realistic view of what to expect. Y'all go in and think the man or the woman supposed to be Hercules or Superwoman and just make your life so wonderful. Baby, if your life ain't wonderful before the person shows up, it ain't gonna be wonderful afterwards. What's up, Janet? Happy Saturday. It's not going to be. They come to add to your happiness. They can't make you happy. That is your responsibility. And as much as we say that, y'all still look for it. Y'all still do the opposite. Y'all still look for it. Y'all think a man is your financial plan. No, he's not. Now, first of all, let me deal with the women when it comes to this. A man is not. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Let me slow it down. A man is not your financial plan. It is your responsibility to steward your money well, get your debt under control, come up with a plan, and do what you need to do. It is not a man's responsibility just to take care of you, especially if you ain't his wife and y'all in the dating stage. Yeah, of course, you want to see whether or not he's a giver. You want to see whether or not he'll step in every now and then. But hey, he is not there, just to pay to pay your rent. That's your responsibility. And I think there are too many women that depend on, that believe that it's the man's responsibility while he's dating you, collecting data on you, trying to figure out if you're the one, that he somehow is responsible for taking care of you. That would be a no. That would be a no. God has given us all the ability, for the most part, to take care of ourselves. Now, that doesn't mean that he won't bring somebody in there to help you navigate that, but that is your responsibility to steward. And this nonsense that, it's the man's responsibility to do everything for you is just a lie, it's a myth, and you really need to get it out of your head. God has given us all of us individually, woman and man, to be able to take care of ourselves. Wonderful. When we come together, beautiful. Most men want to take care of their family. Most, sound men, most of them want to take care of their families, that understand their role and the way that God has created it. And it's just not about, exactly. It's just not about him, protecting you and financially protecting you. If you bad with money, what you need to go do, you need to go to a financial coach. You don't need to be waiting on no man to come rescue you about that. So what happens if he doesn't make a lot of money and he's a really good guy? What you gonna do? You're not gonna date him because what? Because he don't make a whole lot of money? No, you need to manage your own finances. You come together and you learn how to manage it together. But that is not their responsibility to be your financial plan. Now I suggest women, y'all need to get a financial coach and get your money in order. You understand what what I'm saying? I think too many women have this mindset. Well, you supposed to do that. No, he ain't got to pay your rent while he dating you. Who was paying him before he came in the picture? Pay your own rent. Pay your own light bill until you bring your lives together. And listen, and if he's a good guy, most good guys want to lift your burden. But that doesn't always have to be financial. They can bring a wealth of knowledge to you, and the same thing with when it comes to a woman. You don't have to be. You should be taking care of no man that you trying to collect data on, trying to get information on, and you giving him money. that would be a no. Well, y'all know how I feel about this anyway. When you first start dating people anyway, I don't think you ought to be letting them buy you all kind of things. You don't know them because men have a tendency to want to love bomb you with gifts. No, keep your Gucci bag, baby. And I need to see what's behind those eyes. You ain't gonna get me with gifts. I can no. I need to know who you are. I need to know your character. Is there somebody you submit to? Is there somebody that can tell you when you're wrong and you listen to them? Are you accountable to anybody besides yourself as a man? No, honey, you can keep your bag and your shoes because I can go buy that myself. No, I need to know who you are to people. Y'all gotta stop using all this. Y'all gotta stop allowing all this stuff, external stuff, to determine if someone is worthy of your love and your trust and your honor. And that goes both ways. I could care less about your money. You got one time. You got what? Listen, let me give you an example. So I was talking to this dude this when I was living in Illinois, and he just wanted to shower me with all. Just want to buy me this and buy me that. And I said, hey, listen. I said, please don't buy me anything. I was very nice about it. Please don't buy me anything. Because I don't want that to cloud what I'm trying to navigate here. I just want to see. I just want to get to know you. Don't buy me no bracelet. Don't buy me no ring. Don't buy me nothing. Now, if you want to take me out to dinner, you want to take me out to the movies, and you want to buy me flowers, those things are beautiful. To me, those are normal things that a guy would do. But if you all of a sudden trying to buy me, you trying to go to Louis Vuitton and buy me a bag or something, and I've been knowing you about 2 months and stuff, you're not gonna buy me no bag from Louis Vuitton. No. What I want to know, I just want to sit down and have some conversations with you. I want to know who your family is. I want to know how you navigate your whole life. What has been going on with you? What happened? If you've been divorced, what happened? And if you cannot intellectually tell me what happened, right, and why you didn't make it, if you cannot intellectually tell me why you're divorced, that's already a red flag. And then, God forbid, please don't blame everything on the other person. Because then I'm done. Because I already know you lack accountability. When people marriage don't work, it's the two people that's in it marriage. That's inside the marriage is why it didn't work. And if you don't know your percentage and what part you played in the breakdown of your marriage, that's already a red flag, and I don't have time for it. See, these are things y'all need to ask. Nobody cares about a Louis Vuitton bag because, baby, when you say I do, you want to be able to live in peace with people. Not only just live in peace with people, but you want to be able to live with somebody with some character, with some integrity. Baby, nobody cares that you fine if you ugly on the inside. No, baby, you ain't gonna never be that fine to me if you lack character. If you lack integrity, you don't love God. That's not an option. Let's see what creation said. Well, I just had a coworker who got married very quickly after just meeting the guy, and all I heard that he was spending a lot on her and her kids. You see, is it y'all? That money is not the measurement. Do y'all know money goes? Money don't even play a. Money is the last thing you need to be thinking about when you're talking about engaging someone into your life and bringing them into your family. You want to make sure you ain't that the person not crazy and that he may not hurt you nor your family. I mean, there's so many other things for you to be concerned about before money. Because guess what? We all can make money in this day and age. You got YouTube, you got TikTok, you can sell your own product. You can find a way to make money. That cannot be the measuring stick. Y'all need men and women need people in their life that's going to vet people that come into your life. I don't care how old you are. Because you are emotionally connected, you don't always see what someone that's not emotionally connected can see. And it may not be a no. It may be what they see is yield for a minute and investigate this a little bit more, right? So we got to be careful that we are not posting things to give a dang. Let me kind of get back on track. To dig at our partners, right? Because that says to me that I can't really talk to you, and you have to be able to build with each other as far as communication skills, right? That's a flag that y'all communication skills, y'all got to work that out, right? Oh, what I was saying, y'all, about, so I had to post things about relationships. So the guy thought that I was kind of throwing off with him, but hey, I have to talk about relationships on my page. That's what I do, right? I wasn't throwing off with you. What I was saying was true. It just happened to be something you and I dealt with when we were dating, but it's still true. Y'all, things that happen in relationship is not isolated. Most people deal with the same thing: selfishness. They show up for the wrong reasons, right? They're in it because of fear. They in it because they don't want to be alone. That stuff is universal. It's not isolated to your situation. And because I talk about relationships, I have to discuss those things, right? So, but now if you're a person that, you're not, that's not your niche, and then you just all of a sudden writing about, right, relationships. So you doing a dig. You doing a dig. Stop that stuff. That's immature. So not exposing a private moment, not exposing private moments for public sympathy. And y'all, we have to be careful about that. For those of you that don't know, we are doing there's a commentary that we do on a couple that's on YouTube, and it is just a mess. If some of you want to go look at those episodes, I do commentary on those episodes and what they should do, what they should not do. I give my coaching skills to that. And so it is important. So when I tell y'all I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm talking about just for the mere fact that I was married at one point. I know the games married people play. They break up and act like it's just 100% the other person's fault. You lying. You telling a lie. You lying. You telling a whole lie. That's what you're doing. Everybody know you're responsible for the breakdown of your marriage, and so is your partner. Figure it out. But people who like that, you talk to somebody divorced and they blame the other person, run as fast as you can, because baby, they're gonna do the same thing to you because they hadn't learned the lesson yet, right? They haven't done any internal work that they need to do to be a better partner for the next person. How do you know that? You know that because they want to put 100% blame on the other person, right? So the Bible says in Ephesians 4:29, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for edification. If what you're sharing tears, wait a minute, if what you're sharing tears your future spouse down instead of building them up, it's not edifying. Right? And here's something powerful. Love protects. 1 Corinthians 13:7. Y'all, 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, is my favorite chapter of the Bible. It talks about what love is. It don't talk about love as money. It don't talk about if they buy you something. It don't talk about, it says love does not seek its own. If you got somebody in your life seeking its own, get rid of them. Male or female, get rid of them. The love chapter and the fruits of the Spirit are the things you should be using to measure if someone is self-worthy. Well, if someone is worthy to be in your space. All right. So 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter 7 says, love bears all things, believe all things, hope all things, endure all things. Another translation says, love always protects. Loyalty doesn't start at the altar. It starts in your single season. Are you protecting someone who isn't even here yet? Are you building the discipline now that you need later? Because if you can't guard a dating relationship, y'all listen to this, you will struggle to guard a marriage. Even Jesus practiced discretion. There were moments he didn't reveal everything to everyone. In Matthew 7:6, he says, do not cast your pearls before the swine. Everything valuable is not meant for every audience. Your future marriage is a pearl. So stop handing it to people who don't value covenant. Right? So I want to challenge y'all. Stop building discernment. Stop practicing discretion. Start seeking mature, spiritual, sound counsel, right? Whether that's a licensed counselor, a married mentor, or a trusted wise friend. Don't just pray for a spouse. Prepare to protect them. Right? So y'all, if this has resonated with you, I want y'all to drop in the comments. I will guard my future spouse. I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't learn discretion, y'all listen. I was married for 8 years. I'm telling y'all, married people are messy. Let me tell you what they will do. And I'm trying to help y'all single people. They want to discuss their spouse, right, with you. And let me tell you what they will do. I'm just trying to help y'all. That's why you don't give them no advice. Send them to a counselor, a licensed counselor. Once you know that they're not mature enough to handle your advice, because I'm one of those persons, I can give you advice and I would never treat your spouse any different. That's why my friends come to me. I don't care what they tell me. I don't treat their spouses any different. I treat them the same. They'll never know that something was said to me about them. I don't treat people differently once I hear news about them. Right? And so people need to understand that you need to be careful about the things that you say, because you are the one that's giving a description of the person that you claim you love to others, and the way that you treat them, especially the way that you treat them in front of people. I was very careful when I was married that when my ex-husband, when we were married at the time, and he would go home with me, I would go out of my way to make sure that I do not embarrass, speak to him any kind of way in front of my family, or mishandle him in front of my family. Why did I do that? Because I didn't want my family to think, I didn't want to give my family permission to think that they could handle and treat my husband any kind of way. Because that answer would be a no. So y'all better be careful how y'all are handling your dating relationship in front of your friends, in front of your family. Because how you treat that person is a sign, is telling those folks how to treat them as well. You better be wise. Now, ain't no need for everybody to keep making the same mistake, right? Those of us that have been divorced and have learned the wisdom, we're trying to help you. You better be very careful the things that you say about them and who you say it to. Be very careful. Because you can cause damage to your relationship by doing that stuff. Because see, while you don't forgive the person, they still mad. I'm just telling you. Let me go back. When I was saying married people are messy. They will try to pull you into their relationship. They'll talk to you about the person. And then when they get mad at the person, they'll go back and, well, such and such said. They'll call your name in. Anybody experience that? Put a comment. Y'all know good well that's what they'll do. That's what they will do it in a minute. So when married people come and talk to you about their spouse, if you know you're not emotionally mature enough to handle what they're saying, you need to stop them. Say, hey, before you say anything, I think you should take what's going on. I think you need to go. You need to go to your a counselor. Y'all need to get a counselor, and don't say anything that you wouldn't say to the person, because they'll go right back and tell a person, well, they said this, and you saying it, you're not saying it in any way to bring any harm or anything, but the way they go tell it, they tell it in that way. Listen now, y'all, I'm just telling y'all how messy married people are, and I don't want y'all going into your marriage that way. Stop inviting people into your marriage, and then you wanna drag them into your nonsense because y'all don't know how to properly communicate. And then single people, don't you then get into a relationship and then you do the same thing. Y'all need to find a sound counselor. That's good, Lauren. My bro and his wife, I don't speak with them separately about the other. That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful, because they will take what you saying out of context. And now you pull into something, you trying to figure out, well, hold up, you call me. What are you talking about? How you gonna twist what I'm saying and make it negative? I'm trying to help y'all. Married people are messy. So if you are believing for a spouse, I need you, even while you're dating, to practice discretion. And you can have issues with you. There's nothing wrong with you having some concerns, but you need to talk to somebody, first of all, that has been married for some years, or you need to go to counseling. And like I said, when you start dating, now this is what I do. Everybody, listen. One of the things that I've learned over the years, just because you are strong in a particular area, it doesn't mean you make it the prototype for everybody. Okay, there's certain areas that I'm strong in when it comes to relationships, and I have to be very careful that I don't make that the prototype for everybody. When there's issues, when there is something wrong, first of all, I use the love chapter 13, 1 Corinthians 13 chapter, and I use the fruits of the spirit. I watch for those things in the person. They don't have to be perfect, but I watch to see what is consistent in their lives. Are they generally, are they kind? I don't really understand y'all people dating people that's not just kind and courteous of other people. Like, how do they treat the waitress? Like, do they tip? These things matter. You need to watch how they just treat people in general. Right? I mean, why would you just date somebody that's inconsiderate of you? Right? That they're only thinking about themselves. You're in a relationship and they tell you about, okay, I need 2 weeks off. You're gonna have it off completely. Because that tells me you don't have the skill set to be able to walk through conflict. That you don't understand that you can't just decide I'm not gonna talk to you for 2 weeks. That's not how that works. So when people start jumping ship because they don't know how to communicate and they don't know how to navigate conversation, y'all get rid of them. You don't have time for that. You don't have time to waste your time. Especially you guys in your 40s and up. You don't have time. You ain't got time for that. You need to find somebody that knows how to communicate, that says, okay, listen, this is what's happening. I need to process this. So we don't have to talk about this right now. So, can we concentrate on something else? Because right now I'm processing this, but can we concentrate on something else? That's communication. But you don't get to take 2 weeks off. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk in 2 weeks. But while you doing that, you ask me for something. Okay. Think about that, y'all. See, I'm just saying these are small little signs that you can tell that people are there for the wrong reason. Y'all got to pay attention and stop being so excited because you're actually talking to somebody. I mean, my God, you're not desperate for companionship. You just desire it. So you can't be so excited until you just forget about Just the regular normal things you need to be watching for. I mean, if you that excited, you want to talk to God, just go talk to God platonically and just be happy. But don't get yourself in a relationship where you're trying to collect data and you're just so excited because you're talking to somebody, you forget to collect the data. You don't even know if this person's back crazy or not. You can't do that. So y'all, we got to think. And we got to learn how to guard our future dating life. Like I said, for me, I do not tell people when I'm dating. And I don't care who it is. Friends alike, it don't matter. I don't even tell my mentor. I don't tell anybody that I'm dating until I figure out what this is. Because I don't know whether or not they're worthy enough to meet my friends. They're worthy enough to meet my mentor. Now, of course, somebody in my family may know, right? Because somebody needs to know. But I'm talking about outside of my family. I don't say one word because I'm trying to figure out is this person back crazy or not, and is this somebody I even want to pursue? Be careful so you can see what this is, and if you get a check in your spirit, just write it down. Baby, listen, I be writing stuff down. Okay, they did this. I got a check in my spirit. All right, let me see. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna talk to the Lord about it. If I see something else that I think that I need that need my attention to, if I see a yield sign, I'll put okay. I need to check more into this. And if I'm not 100% sure, then I'm gonna call my mentor for sure. I'm gonna pull him in. Ladies, you need to have a man in your life, whether it's a mentor, brother, father, uncle, who it is, to vet these men that come into your life. Same thing with you men. Men, let me tell y'all something. If y'all don't know, y'all better get an understanding. Women will marry you, have your children, and still don't want you. That's just a fact. I hate to tell you that, but that's what it is. I don't know what else to tell you. That's just a fact. And all the women say amen. That's just a fact. I hate to tell you that. Honey, we don't have to love you. Baby, women want security and they will do anything for it. And a woman finds somebody that's stabilized and she may not want you, baby. She will tolerate you. She will marry you, have your kids, and still don't want you because you provide for her and because you provide stability. And that's why I said to you men that y'all got to be careful about women that just want you because of what you can offer and what you have. If they don't care anything about you as a person, you don't need to be dating. And you need to have women in your life who can vet them. Why are you here? Well, why do you like them? Right? And if I have a conversation with a woman from somebody, from one of my male friends, and I listen to them, I just want to hear whether or not they're coming in. Well, I want to serve. I think that's what you better might want to say. Because if you come to me, tell me, well, I think he's such a nice guy. Um, I've been praying for a guy like that, and I don't hear you say nothing about, well, I think I can add to his life. This is what I think I can bring to his life. You gonna get the no from me. No, you need to find somebody who want to serve. It's the same way with the guy. He coming to you talking about, I was praying for a wife. I was looking for this, and that. And he not coming and saying, well, I'm ready to serve. I'm ready. I believe that I have the skills to help take your calling to the next level or just help and, invest in you and that kind of stuff. And I'm not talking about money. I just believe that I have something to offer to make your life better. And this is what I feel like that I can bring to your life. And they start talking about, man, please. Exactly, creation. It's your business. You don't know if it's going to, if you don't know if it's going to work. So why bring them into your circle? Exactly. Exactly. So I mean, if people coming in with all this stuff, Y'all, selfishness, a relationship cannot survive selfishness. When you see the person selfish, right? They got to go. You ain't got time for that. Exactly, creation. Everybody's not strong in a particular area. Y'all, everybody can't handle people's flaws. You can't tell your partner flaws to people. You better tell that stuff to licensed counselors who is bound by law to keep your business secret. But you can't, you gotta be careful. So y'all, I hope this session has been helpful. You guys, for you guys who don't know, I think I got it in the comment section on YouTube. I don't have it here on TikTok, but there's a free PDF copy you guys can get. And it's 25 questions you need to ask before you say I do. Okay? Get it and read it. It's free. Okay? It's free. So I think it'll be extremely helpful. So you won't be going into relationships just aimlessly. I mean, you should be going in them, and I'm not saying, sometimes you just go date, you just want to go out to eat. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Every time you go get somebody, they don't have to be marriage potential. It's all right. You can't go get something to eat and just have, and hey, wait, and just have a good conversation with people. Okay, women, because I'm talking to women mostly because women do this. I'm not saying men don't do it. I know women do it. You can't just go out and have something to eat without thinking about marriage. Okay, just go normal. Just be like a normal person. You're just hanging out. All right, you can just be friends, right? It's just somebody you cool with. You don't have to always look at everybody as a potential mate. If it falls into that, it's wonderful. But sometimes you just go sit down and have something to eat and just talk, right? So you can kind of get yourself out the house. Because some of y'all want to be married, but you don't get out the house. Everybody has to be coming to the Amazon person now. I'm just and you men, okay, y'all need to get out. Don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Is what I'm saying, man. Women, do yours subtly. Give them an eye back. Let them know you think they're fine to let them pursue. But all right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this session. If you listen to the replay, thank you so much for listening to the replay. Like I said, go get that free PDF copy of 25 questions you should ask before you say I do. I have some other things in the comment section. You guys feel free to look at those things as well. And then I have an introductory coaching package for an hour for $59.99. If you want some type of coaching, personal development, your calling, your purpose, it doesn't matter what it is, starting a business, all that kind of stuff. It's $59.99. The reason why I've chosen to put it at that price is because I don't know whether or not we'll be a good match. And you have paid less than $100 because just because someone coaches doesn't mean that you are a good fit for each other, right? And so you get an hour for $59.99. If we're a good match and you want to continue, great. But I may say to you, hey, I'm not a good match for you, and I may recommend someone to you, or I may say, hey, you need a licensed counselor. You need a licensed therapist. Some of y'all just need coaching. Some of you don't necessarily need, a licensed therapist on some things that some things you're dealing with. So y'all have a great Saturday. I don't know about you guys, but it's raining outside. The air feels nice out there. I don't know what I'm gonna do today since it's raining. I know I have homework to get done, but I might do that tomorrow. So I'm gonna enjoy my Saturday. You guys have fun this weekend. Be careful, be safe, and guess what? Please be kind to somebody today without expecting something back. Please be kind to someone without expecting something back. Okay, y'all have a great one, and I will see you guys later. Bye, B Nation. Y'all have a good one.